Welcome back to the 12 Days of Film. If you are not familiar with what we're doing here, the first 12 days of January, I'm going to be reviewing a different movie each day. And today we're looking back at Leave the World Behind. It is the 10,000th movie about the world ending because we just have such bleak mindsets nowadays. But I got my pajamas on. I'm comfy. Let's talk about this movie. My wife actually really wanted to watch this one, and I knew nothing about it going in other than, it's a Netflix movie. It's got Julia Roberts. It's got Blade. So it looked promising enough. Went in with an open mind. That being said, to get the synopsis out the way, like I said, it seems to be that the world is amiss. I wouldn't say it's ending quite yet. There are strange things happening. Cell phones not working. Technology not doing things it's supposed to. Strange animals doing bizarre things. Then we follow Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke. They get a nice Airbnb in the middle of nowhere away from the city. And that's when the landlords come around. The landlords being Blade and his daughter. And they're just like, hey, we own the house, so we're just gonna bunk with you guys. And there's immediate tension between the two families. They definitely make it seem like Blade is a bad guy. They constantly are throwing that in your face, and it doesn't lead to much. As I've said with the other reviews in this series, I am going to touch on spoilers. I'm not going to go deep into it. I don't think if you watch this, you would have the whole movie spoiled for you, but I do want to go in depth with certain things I talk about. They are treating it like almost like a horror movie, like a slasher film is about to pop in. That is the creepy vibes that this family is giving off. And they don't do anything with that plot thread. Instead, what we are given is a drip fed of information of what's happening on the outside world. They can't go into the city because Teslas are just slamming into each other. Someone's just hitting randomizers on every piece of technology ever, so you can't count on anything or any little bit of information. And we are slowly told things that contradict each other. It seems like there's a big war somewhere. There's hackers. No one's quite sure what's going on until the end of the film, which doesn't even give a proper resolution. Like, someone just has a good theory as to what's going on. It is like in the middle of the plot, and I'm looking at the timer on the movie like, we got 15 minutes left. What are we gonna do? And that's how it ends. Just a good theory as to what's going on. No resolution. There are characters who are sick and dying. We don't know what happens to them. There's some other characters who are like locked in a cabin, like fending off animals until the animals just run away. That's how that plot thread ends. And then the real meat and potatoes of the story is whether a teenage girl is going to see the finale to Friends. That's what you care most about in this film. And don't get me wrong, I love a good mystery. I was actually very entertained throughout this film because I am constantly guessing. I'm thinking about the film, and therefore I'm caring about things. And they slip in these little character moments. There's like a weird dynamic between Julia Roberts and her husband, and then this new guy comes in. They have like weird chemistry. Again, they don't go anywhere with this. It felt like this was like a mini series that they just cut it off on, like, it was like a 3-part mini series, and they just cut it off on the first part. But here's the thing with mysteries. A lot of stories, the finale isn't necessarily essential for the entire journey being great. Like, I can look back at the early seasons of Game of Thrones and be like, those were good, the ending sucked, but as a whole, series was good, even if it fumbled the ending. With mysteries, you are just constantly doing build-up. You are constantly teasing this big finale. So when the finale doesn't hit for a mystery, the whole story just kind of deflates. But I'm not trying to say this is a bad film or it's not worth watching. The cast is actually really great. Like I said, there are good character moments, and the cast obviously carries those moments, and there are moments where you're left thinking and guessing. But by the end of it, the parts I actually remember the most and the parts I care about are the moments where they're just not worrying about the end of the world. They're just living in the moment. And I think that's like one of the core themes of the story is the outside world is shit, and just, I don't know, stay inside and be a neat. Just binge your DVD collection of Friends and everything will be all right. I'm kidding, obviously, but not entirely. Like I said, if this was like a mini series, I feel like it really could have turned into something if it actually led to something really cool. I do think there are some stories where you can show or don't tell, or you can leave things up in the open or leave things to interpretation. I just think this is one of the times it didn't happen. I'm just kind of left scratching in my head, and when I reflect on everything that led up to it, I'm just kind of like, eh. So I'm gonna give Leave the World Behind a 6 out of 10. It is a decent movie, but it's definitely not cracking my top 10 or anything this year. I hope you guys had a cozy little Christmas and your New Year's treating you right, and I hope you're enjoying the 12 days of film. I will be here tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and until next time with that, I leave you.